right, so Tuesdays are all about music here on the DBZ, and this year is the 45th anniversary of one of the greatest events in music history, Woodstock. Now, in honor of the re-release of the documentary, Woodstock 3 Days of Peace and Music on Blu-ray, our sister show, Emotional Mojo, spoke with one of the co-founders of Woodstock. This is very cool. Check it out.
It is hard to believe, you guys. It was 45 years ago. 500,000 people gathered at Max Yasgur's dairy farm in Bethel, New York, to witness what has become known as one of the 50 moments that changed the history of rock and roll. And one man helped to make it happen against all odds. The co-founder of Woodstock, Michael Lang, is Skyping in live with us right now to talk about this historic event. Welcome, Michael. We are so happy to have you on our show.
Thanks, very nice to be here.
It's so good to have you. You know, we want to start off with the significance of Woodstock for our young viewers out there. It was so much more than just a music and art festival. This was a social statement and movement during the fight for civil rights. I mean, how did you have the forethought back then to even know that music would ignite social change?
Well, you know, throughout that decade in the 60s, music was very much a big part of the social change that was going on, from the freedom marches to the anti-war movement. So we were very familiar with the power of music.
Well, it's amazing, too, to see what the outcome has been with this, because they were expecting 200,000 people, but 500,000 showed up. Not only that, another 1 million people were turned away. It was just
so crazy.
So much bigger than anyone could have imagined. Let's take a quick look, Michael, at your reaction when this was happening at Woodstock.
Financially, this is a disaster.
But you look so happy.
Look what you got there, man. You couldn't buy that for anything. Sure. This is really beautiful, right? These people are communicating with each other. That rarely happens anywhere anymore.
Kind of crazy, Michael. We got to know, given that enormous crowd and the turnout, you seemed like you knew it would be this way. I mean, how was that? Take us back to that day.
Well, you know, we certainly hoped it would be that way, that people would come together in the right spirit. You know, it was a very strange time in America. The anti-war movement was at its peak, I think.
The clip we just saw was from the Academy Award-winning movie Woodstock. It was 3 days of peace and music.